This is our presentation on the Inca. My name is Sam.
I'm Kayle.
I'm Jack. Aunzhanai.
Here's our slide on writing. The Inca have a very different style of writing. The Inca technically do not have a writing style. They use a system of knots called quipus, which is a system of knots. They use a strand of wood or thick rope, and they have different other ropes that are hanging vertically. Normally, you can't see any spaces. That's how full it is. The Inca could tell the different knots by the color, the length, the space, as well as how the type of knot, such as the loops around this rope. Education. Not everyone was educated. Education was only for the wealthy, and even if they were educated, they normally focused on teachings, oral communications, and memorization. They also spoke the language, which is Quechua. Females were taught how to cook as well as how to weave, such as baskets as well as clothing. Males, they were taught cultural, religious, and they were also taught the language, which was Quechua, and the history. Male and female, especially children, they were taught oral teachings, such as poems, like the myths that we read about for our civilization. They also introduced quipus, which was the writing style.
The climate in Peru was very rainy, which was a good thing because they had canals going through the city that would collect water, and they would use it for irrigation and just drinking water. The climate in the summer would be in the upper 70s, and the winter in the lower 40s.
Geography. Peru is the third largest country in South America. They have frequent earthquakes, landslides, and flash floods. They are known as having the central high Sierra of the Andes Mountains. They have massive peaks, steep canyons, and high mountain valleys. This is a picture of Machu Picchu and the Andes Mountains.
Religion. Inca has 14 main gods in their religion. Some of them are Supa, the god of death, Khan, the god of rain and wind, Apu, god of mountain, and Mama Zuri, goddess of grain. And deceased emperors also treated as encountered as gods. And here's a picture of some of the gods and goddesses. The Incas were polytheistic. That means they believed in more than one god. Inti was the sun god, the most important god of all the Incas. They believe that each part of the earth should have a god for it, such as the sun, moon, lightning, and rain. The fall of the religion. When some people came in and tried to take over Inca population, Inca people, they enslaved some of the Incas and made them work in gold and silver mines. And then they brought disease with them. Made the population decline. Some of the laws that they had to obey by was they had to learn the QHL language. The women had to clean their houses before, and if they didn't clean it right, they had to eat mud of their houses while the whole village watched. Sometimes the men had to do it too. If you steal, people would cut off your hands and feet. And the rulers, Sapa equals the supreme rulers. Everybody had to obey him. And if you didn't, they would kill you. Some of the punishments they had was they would throw you off a cliff. And also they would put you up, down, and they would throw a rock over 3 feet high onto your back.
The economy of the Incas is market, and the market economy is supply and demand. They did not have money. They used grain, beads, potatoes, other items. They would trade the goods. They had to pay taxes to the government for grain. They made salt, and salt was worth a lot of money back then. It was like gold because you the peasants. These would be like the farmers and the tax collectors. These would be the people that like obeyed the rulers, and these would be the rulers' top priority people, and that's
The culture. The Inca were very artistic. They used knives and gold paper as well as anything that involves nature. The emperors only wore clothes once and then they burned them. The chosen women were the only women who could make the emperor's clothes. That's all. That's what they spent all day doing. And the men had wore shields on their chests for wars and for a fashion thing. It had the sun god engraved in it, and it was gold.
Here's our timeline. In the year 1100, the Inca technically began. The Inti, the sun god, created a man named Manco Copa who would guide the people of the Inca, and he was brought to where the civilization would begin. In the year 1200, the Inca finally found a place to build, which was Machu Picchu, which is located in the Andes Mountains, and they began to build their civilization. In the year 1350, the Inca began to expand. They began to conquest many other tribes and other empires across much of South America. This lasted for a long time. In the year 1525, the Inca have a civil war between two brothers to decide who would become emperor. In the end, the one brother wins. Shortly after this war, in 1525, the Spaniards conquistadors came, Francisco Pizarro. This was a bad time for the Inca because they just gotten out of the Civil War, so they were weak. In the year 1530, the Inca Civil War ends and many Incas were enslaved. Do you want me to show my documentary?
Just a bit of it.
All right.
And just explain what you're thinking with it.
wait, yeah.
Oh, you pass those out. I'll start the documentary. Here's a 40-second long clip.
What are you going to be doing with it, Sam?
What?
What are you going to be doing with it?
I'm going to have a voice into it, so that way the voice goes along with the pictures, like the pictures describe what I'm saying. But I have to find a way to import that. That section that you just saw was a summary, a basic summary of what that video is going to be about. The Inca civilization.
Okay.
What Jack just passed out was the duplicate of the writing style that the Inca had. Does anybody want to know any type of knots? There were basically 3 knots that they had. They had loop knots, which was they looped around the one string. They had a figure 8 knot, as well as a similar knot that you use to tie your shoe.
Okay. All right. Give them something you learned. Go ahead and turn it off. Something you learned.